opinion that as we get back out and as we go through all these phases that our government has put up to say when we can go back outside again, no disrespect, I'm just saying that's what it is. I know some people are wondering, well, are we going to do more virtual? Are things going to be in person? What's going to happen? And one thing that I've realized and I've observed is that it's not, in my opinion, it's not going to be an either or situation. It's going to very likely be an and situation. There will be in-person meetings again someday, and there will likely still continue to be virtual events such as the one that you're here now. So I want to thank all of you for continuing to literally get out there, even from home. And right now, I'm going to encourage everyone to help stay engaged in this event because that will help Greg stay awake. And we're gonna. I couldn't help it. I mean, I could have, but it wouldn't have been as funny. So we're gonna start the way that we normally do, folks. We're gonna give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves. I see some names that I know, some names that I'm not familiar with, and I know I'm not the only one. And so, we got some folks that are just now jumping in. So I'm gonna stall just a little bit longer because once again, we're gonna give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves and an opportunity to share who they are. Now, if this were an in-person event, then we would, of course, be exchanging business cards at some point so that folks could hey, here, call me, that sort of thing. However, utilizing this wonderful thing that we call technology, I'm going to ask everyone and encourage everyone to please put your information in the chat feature so that as folks are introducing themselves, they can say, oh, I need to know that person. I need their business card. And so their business information will already be in the chat for your convenience. So I'm going to ask everyone to take an opportunity to go ahead and put their information in, whatever contact information is comfortable for you, whatever would be on your regular physical business card, please go ahead and put that in. And once again, we're going to give everyone in just a moment an opportunity to introduce themselves. I see, I don't know if that's Delisa or Ken. No, it's both of them because they're both on now. That is awesome. I'm always excited when our president arrives, and I will give him an opportunity to address the Zoom in just a few moments. But as I said, I've stalled long enough. I think everyone that was in the waiting room is on now, and we're going to give everyone an opportunity to introduce who they are. And here's what we're going to do. First things first, let me explain what we are not going to do. This is what we're not going to do. And here's why I do this. Fellas, I'm going to talk to the fellas for just a second. Fellas, have you ever asked your lady friend or partner, what would you like for dinner tonight? And her response is, well, I don't want this, and I don't want that, and I don't. So the first thing I'm going to do is tell you what we don't want. What we don't want in their introductions is your next seminar, your next special that you're running for your business. We don't want to know, everything that, the last workshop that you did, the next special that you're running. Here's what we do want to know. Simply put, your name, your company name, and what is a good lead or referral. Once again, your name, your company name, and what is a good lead or referral. And then on a personal note, I want to know where you got that white fedora because that is fire. So your name, your company name, and what is a good lead or referral. So for example, my name is Darren Mitchell. My company is Legal Shield. A good referral for me is any business owner or business professional that understands the value of having access to attorneys and consultants to protect and grow your business. Once again, Darren Mitchell, Legal Shield. And then we snap. Simple, right? Very nice, very nice. You guys are good. I like that. We're going to do a poetry slam later on. So I'm going to go through the screen as it is on my screen. It probably shows up differently on yours. So I'm going to be calling on you. So I'm going to start off with Tish. She's taking off the mask. She's taking off the headphones. She means business. No, she needs them back on. I need to start over. Can you hear me still, Tish?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. So Tish, you're going to introduce yourself first. Greg, you're on deck. So go ahead and unmute yourself. And then you're going to introduce yourself next. So Tish, take it away, please.
I am Tish with Capstone Brokerage, and my ideal client is anyone, small business owner, who is looking for any kind of coverage.
Any kind of coverage?
Any kind of coverage.
Even an umbrella in the sun coverage.
Umbrella in the sun, life, health, whatever. Give me a call.
That is awesome. Thank you, Tish. So glad that you are here. Greg, take it away. And Alicia, you are on deck. Greg, take it away.
Greg Drake, president of Quantum Advisory Group. A good lead for me, a good referral introduction. It's kind of like Tish, but individual, company, looking for healthcare coverage, Medicare, long-term care, and disability coverage.
Awesome. This is the insurance hour, ladies and gentlemen, because next is Alicia, and then Mary, you're on deck. So Mary, please unmute. You're going to go next, but Alicia, go right ahead, please.
Well, good evening all, and it's great to see Ruth. It's great to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. Glad everybody was able to come on board. And yes, my name is Alicia Morosco. I serve on the membership committee here with the Urban Chamber, this wonderful group that we have, like the best committee, right?
It's true. You can't see it, but Ken is nodding his head yes.
Okay. And I am the vice president of bond operations at Capstone. So my specialty is anyone that needs bonding. So that could be from attorneys to contractors, developers, small businesses, large businesses. Pretty much, yeah, do it all.
Awesome. Bonding.
Bonding, not bondage.
Oh, I didn't say it. Thank you, Alicia. Love you back. Jim Davis, you're on deck, but Mary, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mary Arbutina with Nevada Industry Excellence. We're an outreach program of the university system growing manufacturing here in Las Vegas. And a good lead for me right now would be somebody in the world of manufacturing that wants to export, because we know about some grants, not loans, grants coming up for that.
Oh, okay, wait, grant. Does that mean free money?
Yes.
Money I don't have to pay back? Just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yes.
All
And
right.
that's what I'm saying is grant money for
Awesome.
exporting.
I just wanted to put it in plain English for the people that didn't get past third grade like me. You know, I know I'm probably the only one, but I just wanted to make sure it was clear that this is a grant. We are granting you this money. Go forth and spend wisely. I love that.
Yes, they
Samela,
give
I
you
hope I did
that
not,
money
pardon me?
in order to help grow. They give you the money because they know that they give you some and you end up spending some, and that's how business gets done.
I agree completely. If you give me the money, my bank account will grow. It's true.
Okay.
My bank account definitely grows
This
if you
is
give me
true.
money. Or my mattress, either way.
Oh,
Samela, I hope I pronounced that correctly. You're on deck. Jim, you go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Davis. I am a candidate for family court judge in Department X. I am here just to listen and learn. And a good lead for me, I guess, is to gain your support and hopefully your vote in November. It's going to be a huge election. I'm the only candidate in my race that actually has experience in family court litigating cases. And so I look forward to seeing you all. I wish I could see Evelyn. I know she's on, but I can't see her. But so anyway, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Our pleasure, sir. We are very glad that you are here, and I respect that you're here to learn. I hope that you do in fact learn something. Wait, I think Evelyn is it? Yes. Oh my goodness. Now you can see her. So excited. And again, Samela, I hope I'm not butchering your name. That's not you just shaking your head like, no, that is not. So I'm gonna stop talking. And Lisa, you're on deck. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Samela. That's like Pamela with an S.
See,
my name is
I'm
Samela.
supposed to remember these things. That's on me.
Write that down.
Yes.
I have an organization called Your Next Option for individuals 55 years and older looking for alternatives to retirement. A good lead for me would be an individual that is retired, recently retired, or is bored retired, tired of being retired. And I'm here to help them find their purpose, passion, and profit. Thank you.
Awesome. Samela, thank you for correcting me so kindly and for being here this evening. Lisa, you are next. Ruth, you are on deck. Before I give you the floor, Lisa, I want to thank everyone for putting their information in the chat so far. Please keep checking the chat because someone is about to get some referrals from somebody. So please make sure that you're checking the chat because Mary, I think you might be able to do some business with Ken if you're reading. I see you shaking your head. I appreciate that. So folks, make sure that you are putting your information in. I love the fact that Lisa already put her intro in the chat. So I love that. That's beautiful. So if you didn't hear what she's about to say or don't hear what she's about to say, you can just read it. Y'all can read, right? Okay, anyway, Lisa, take it away, please.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Farrell, and I'm with the Breakthrough Success Plan. It's a 9-week online course that hones in your leadership skills. And if you're looking for more fulfillment, recognition, and income, then this course is for you. And we actually just had some people on the call here graduate from it yesterday. So Julie can attest if you have any questions about what it might be, so you can hear it from somebody that actually went through it.
That is awesome. And yes, I can attest to her graduating. I'm just speaking the truth. And all I know is she asked for my credit card earlier and ordered a book, so I'm excited to get that and read that as well. Because I understand that you and Jesse are accomplished authors as well. I've attended some of their seminars. Well, okay, I've attended one, but it was definitely very valuable. And so I encourage you to look at Lisa's information and make sure that you stay in contact with them because, as she said, if you want more recognition and income, she had me at income and recognition. I didn't hear the rest. Definitely, you want to be in touch with them. Ruth, I appreciate that you two put your information in the chat. Evelyn, you are on deck, but Ruth, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ruth Furman. I have a public relations and writing services firm called ImageWords. And right now, kind of like Jim said, I am just looking to connect, kind of recalibrating, my business with some changes, during the pandemic, and just kind of here to connect.
Awesome. I am so glad that you were here to connect. That's why this is called the Virtual Connect. So mission accomplished. Thank you, Ruth, for being here again. Evelyn, how you been, girl?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Antoine, you are on deck, sir. But in the meantime, Evelyn, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Hello, Jim. Thank you for acknowledging me. I appreciate that. And my name is Evelyn Pacheco. I have a nonprofit, Nevada Women in Trades. We are helping women, all women, to get into construction. So my dream would be to get references and get people to bring women to me that need to have, need to support themselves economically by getting in construction.
So all of construction. So not just plumbing anymore.
Well, it never was about plumbing anymore. It was about helping women to get into all the trades.
See, this is why we need to have another sit down. I need to get an update. I'm slipping. I apologize.
It's okay. You can slip.
No, it's not. It's not okay at all. Not even a little bit. I appreciate you being gracious, but no.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out there misrepresenting you.
No, I don't want you to either, but this pandemic was doing that anyway. This is making everybody look at themselves, right?
Man, I'm looking at myself on the screen every day. Yes, I can't help it. Thank you, Evelyn. I am truly glad that you are here and continuing to grow. I was putting Antoine on deck and he disappeared. So we'll get to him in a moment. Delisa, would you please introduce yourself? And Stephen Turner, you're on deck. Delisa, if you're available, I know you're doing at least 12 things at once, and this is technically after hours. If you're not there, I understand because you are. You know what? I'm gonna introduce Delisa. Delisa is the office manager, the HWIC head woman in charge at the Urban Chamber of Commerce. I said W. I was clear. She keeps Ken in line, which is a task in and of itself. She keeps me in line, which is, oh my goodness, even Julie can't do that. But she runs the chamber. She, in my opinion, my humble opinion, with all due respect to Ken and to Shondell in his absence, and Ken will back me up when I give him an opportunity to talk. What she just texted in, I can't talk. Sorry, don't apologize, Lisa. I got you. She runs the chamber, y'all. I'm just gonna say it for her. She run. You know when that song, who runs this town tonight? She runs the chamber. So all kudos and respect to Delisa for all that she does for the Urban Chamber of Commerce. We would not be here right now, literally, if it were not for her and all of her efforts. Thank you, Delisa, for all that you do. Thank you so very much. So, enough about her. No, I love Delisa. She knows it. Stephen, thank you, sir, for turning your camera on. And Ross, you are on deck. Stephen, please introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Stephen. I'm an account executive with Slate Insurance and Medical Supplies. So we provide our masks, gowns, overalls, personal protection equipment, scanners, and thermometers. So our sweet spot is going to be that hospitality spot, medical clinic, hospitals that need to protect not only their patients and the customers, but also their staff who are on the front line.
That is awesome. So PPE is a hot item still, and you got the goods.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Stephen, for being here. I appreciate what you are doing. Your services are needed even more now than ever. Jenna, I saw your message. Thank you. I'm coming to you after Ross. Ross, go ahead, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ross Beardall. I'm with the National Federation of Independent Business, and I'm a local rep here in Las Vegas. We work with independent and small business owners, much like the Chamber does, and we work to advocate for you as small business owners in Carson City and in Washington, D.C. We've been doing this for 77 years. We've played a major role in the PPP loan process. We're the organization that pushed and got in there that the mortgage, rent, and utilities could be included. And I am glad you all let me on here, and hopefully get to meet you all in person someday.
Awesome. I'm glad we let you on as well, Ross, because I would like for you to put your contact information in the chat. I know that Ken has mentioned and made tonight, I don't know what he has planned, that at the Chamber we have several resources to help businesses to still access the PPP funds, as far as I know. And I know of several business owners that struggled with that early on and then said, skip it, I'm not even gonna try anymore. So I'm glad that you're here as well. And not just Ross, if you have not yet done so, and even if you had, there's some folks that just joined us. So please put your information in the chat, even if you just have to copy and paste it again, because the folks that just joined the Zoom, all the stuff that we chatted already, they won't see. So if you talked about them before they got here, they ain't gonna see it. But in all seriousness, no, that was serious. So please put your information in the chat so that instead of exchanging business cards, we all have each other's information and can make those connections. Speaking of connections, Jenna, if you would please introduce yourself, and Daphne, thank you for joining us. You are next. Jenna, you're gonna need to unmute for us. You look lovely, I just can't hear you.
Thank
There
you.
you
Sorry,
are.
I forgot I had it on mute. Yes, I'm Jenna Ramsey, and I will be representing Building Resilience, which is a company that provides peer-to-peer counseling, housing, also biofeedback therapy, individual and group, family therapy also, basic skills training, and psych and social rehab.
Well, all right.
Also transportation.
And you're gonna get me there. That is awesome. Thank you, Jenna. We're so very glad that you are here. And we know how hard you're working, because Antoine was on, he jumped off, you jumped on. That's teamwork. I love that.
Yes.
That is a beautiful thing. That is
Trying
awesome.
to keep it moving around here.
That's what's up. If my computer crashes like it did yesterday in the middle of a Zoom, I'm just gonna walk down the hall and stand behind that lady, that pretty lady in the green dress with her head on her hand, looking at me like, this boy, he just ain't got no sense. He don't. And I don't. She's right. I don't. That's why she loves me. Daphne, how you doing?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, would you introduce yourself to the folks, please?
Sure. My name is Daphne Moore with Moore Marketing Agency, and we are a social media agency and content building, mainly working with small business owners, elevating their voice through digital marketing, helping them brand themselves through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Well, all right. Simple and to the point, as it should be. Well said. Thank you so much. Hey, green dress, how you doing? You gonna introduce yourself to the folks, please? She's my wife. I'm allowed.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I am Julie Kankai, and the company that I represent is Legal Shield. And a good lead or referral for me is any family that want to go ahead and protect themselves legally with any legal needs. And especially with these times, you need as much professional help as possible. So I put my information in the chat, and that's it.
Thank you so much. Speaking of professional help, this gentleman swears that I need professional help, and he's right. But in all seriousness, I do very much appreciate every time that I have the honor of sharing the room or sharing the Zoom with him. I've been to many, many different chamber events throughout the years as an entrepreneur, and it is rare that the president or the chairman of that board of directors for that chamber are present, unless it's the big installations and things of that nature. So I am very humbled and honored that the Urban Chamber of Commerce president, Mr. Ken Evans, is here. He has joined us in the middle of his very, very busy schedule because Mary's speaking of grants. This man has been, he's gonna become a grant writer in the next 6 months. I promise you. He doesn't know it yet. I call him the genius. Ken Evans, please say whatever is on your heart and mind to say this evening. So take it away.
All right. Thank you very much, Darren. Appreciate you. Good evening, everyone, or actually good afternoon, everyone. 40 more minutes till good evening. But it's a pleasure to be here. Very glad that we could continue to do this. Everyone by now knows that COVID-19's been impacting us for about 3 months now, but we've made it a point to continue to do coffee and commerce and to continue to do our business connect. We just made sure that we did them in a virtual manner to make sure that we keep everybody safe but connected. Just want to hit on a couple of things. First and foremost, our aim right now at the Urban Chambers, make sure we continue to be a resource and a connection to our Urban Chamber Resource Network. To that end, they already mentioned the Payroll Protection Program, or PPP funds, and I'm going to do something here. Show of hands, who has not applied for PPP funds that owns a business or has a nonprofit? Show of hands, who has not applied for PPP funds? So I'm going to, okay, I see one, I see two, three. Okay, at least 3 people. Here's what I'm going to suggest, that you apply for those PPP funds, because those funds, although it starts out as a loan, it has the potential to be forgiven as long as you properly use the funds for payroll. And here's the great thing. With Congress doing what they did recently, it's made it even better. You have 24 weeks to use the funds. In addition to that, you have up until the 31st of December to use the funds, but you do need to apply for the funds within the next couple of weeks. June 30th is my understanding. So if you need more information about that, I put my contact information in the chat room. So either call me at the phone number, it'll turn it into a voicemail. I'm sorry, it'll turn the voicemail into an email that comes to me, and then we'll get you connected, or you can use the info@urbanchamber.org. So that's just an example of how we're trying to make sure that we're resourced. Mary with Nevada Industrial Excellence, I want to say I know a couple of people that are creating a product that may be eligible for the grants that you talked about, so want to follow up on that. And just in general,
We can't hear you, Ken. You muted yourself. There you go.
He's on fire.
sorry about that. Things is, I am still technically challenged, and I forgot to put my do not disturb on. So once again, I did it again, and this meeting is recorded, so y'all have evidence. But we like family here, so y'all can tease me all you want to and say what the president did. But at the end of the day, it's all good. The main thing I want to make sure that you use us as a resource to get connected. Right now, what we're focused on is expanding and diversifying the economy and making sure that our small, diverse businesses participate in that. So if you need some assistance pursuing the opportunities that are going to unfold as we move through the recovery phase, and you try to keep your business going, please reach out to us. I want to thank you very much to our chair and co-chair for the membership committee, Darren and Julie. I also want to say thank you to some of the other Urban Chamber membership committee members that are here. I greatly appreciate you. And now what I have to say is that I'm in a situation where you can have a to-do list, a honey-do list, but I have a better-do list. So I need to hop off so I can take care of my better-dos before the evening is over. So great to meet you all. And again, the individuals that have not applied for PPP, please do so. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ken. Once again, always an honor that you are here. Folks, if you are not yet a member of the chamber, he didn't say it, so I'm going to join us. And the reason that I love our president so much is because when my wife and I joined the chamber, we are independent business owners. It's just us. So one of the things that we did is immediately said, hey, listen, we'd like to meet with Ken to understand how to use our membership effectively. Because our chamber works with businesses from individuals to the Raiders, to MGM. And so how do we fit in as the small folks in comparison? And he very graciously sat down with us and explained to us, here's how you make your membership beneficial. Well, we were very fortunate that he did that because he don't do that no more. But what he does do is regularly, and forgive me for starting a topic that I do not remember the ending to, but I'm sure Julie's gonna back me up, please, because we do quarterly have a Meet the President event where we either in person or virtually give you as new members of the chamber, or in some special occasions, even some more seasoned members, an opportunity to meet with our president, learn more about the chamber, learn about how you can utilize the chamber for your particular business. And one of the reasons that I call him the genius is because no matter what your business is, he's going to be able to give you some resources that fit your business and your business needs. You will leave with homework, so please have a pen and paper ready. And because I do not know when the next one is off the top of my head like I'm supposed to, it is on the Urban Chamber's calendar. So go to urbanchamber.org, urbanchamber.org. And you can check the calendar for when the next event's going to be. And I just wanted to say again, Ken, thank you for being here and sharing and doing what you do so well, because even if we have tech challenges, you were here. I've only seen the president of the Vegas Chamber one time. Okay, I'm done. So here, I'm saying, and it was with our event. Anyway, so I love Mary, I do. So check this out. Unlike at a regular in-person, in-room networking event where we'd all introduce each other and then we'd all kind of pair up and chat and talk. No, we're all in one room right now. So this is going to be, as if you've been to a virtual connect, this is your opportunity to communicate and share information. I mean, heck, Jim's running for office and he said he's here to learn. So help me, help him. And what I'd like for us to discuss, because one of the things that Ken didn't mention is that our motto at the chamber, given these new and exciting times, is that we are strive to thrive, or strive to survive to thrive. That's what it was. I read my notes, but my notes are wrong. The phrase is...
Wait, time out. Let me help you out.
Thank you, kid. Thank you. Help a brother, please.
There we go. We talked about the recovery plan, #survive to thrive.
That's what it is.
Survive. And
survive to thrive.
We're going to connect you to where the economy is headed in the future, not where it's been in the past.
See, even when he's not here, he's here. So you got to be careful, you know. Thank you, because I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, that doesn't sound right, and it wasn't. So my question to the room, because #survive to thrive, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you to survive to thrive? For example, over the past months, we've discussed some things that you've learned, some things you've done differently, some ways you've prepared for now as we're beginning to leave the house again. And so I would like for us to discuss as a group, what does it mean to you to survive to thrive? For me, as an example, one of the things that I did to adapt and overcome is that much of my business, instead of, for example, networking event, I might meet, say, a Lisa Farrell. I would say how much I love her fedora, and I would resist the urge to run into my closet and grab the white fedora that I have that looks a lot like it. And then I'd say, hey, what is it that you do? Here's a little bit about what I do. Why you laugh, Alicia? I do. And here's my card. I'll get your card. And listen, let's meet for coffee, Dutch treat, and you can tell me more about what you do, and I can tell you more about what I do. Well, look, we can't do that because, listen, the joke that I would always tell, and sometimes it's funny, is we can meet at one of my offices. They're all cleverly disguised as Starbucks. But we can't do that anymore because all my offices are closed. So everything now is done on this platform, on Zoom. All of our networking is done on Zoom. All of my company, workshops are done on Zoom. And so as a result of that, Survive to Thrive looks like being able to now take what I used to do, combine it with what I now do, and have an intersection of being able to continue to meet with people and network and grow my business for what it is that I do. So my question to you again, having given you my example, what does Survive to Thrive look like to you? Don't all jump in at once. Anyone? Bueller? Thank you, Alicia. Appreciate that. Gregory, like for example, you love working at home. And by love working at home, I mean hate it. So based on what we shared earlier, I'm not saying his business. I'm telling you what he shared to the room earlier. That's not shade for those of you that were not privy to that conversation. But thriving through this, how does that look to you, Greg? I'm gonna call on you because I feel like I can.
Absolutely. To me, it's about figuring out ways to keep the income coming in. You're having to think outside of the box because we were thrown into this pandemic blindsided, in my opinion, and businesses, small business owners and entrepreneurs have to figure out a way to continue to make money. And then you have to expand your network by reaching out different ways to social media, phone calls, Zoom meetings. That's what I've been doing, and it's been working. It's a challenge because I didn't know how technically challenged I was until I met Zoom and Google Meets, and that's something that I'm having to get used to. And I understand, like what Ken was saying, that he's technically challenged. Well, he was an Air Force officer, so he had admin doing all his work for him. I got me. And so to survive and to strive for success, I'm having to think outside of the box and look at different ways to meet people and generate income.
Agreed. First of all, thank you for your input because I did put you on the spot, and I appreciate you rising to the call. And you're right. Ken was an Air Force officer, so he had an aide, but he was also an engineer, so he must have known something to become an engineer because math was not my subject in school at all. But definitely looking for different ways. And like you said, using Zoom, using other technology, finding other ways to meet people is how you've survived in order to now thrive, getting back into the world, as it were. Different ways to thrive. I know Tish just finished saying earlier that she's so happy to be back in the office. So Tish, I'm gonna put you on the spot too, because again, I feel like I can. And the rest of y'all, please don't get nervous. I'm not over here just picking on folks. These are folks that I feel comfortable enough to do that with. But at the same time, please feel free to jump into the conversation because that's what this is, a conversation. So Tish, I know you were happy to get back in the office and put on clothes again like the rest of us. You're not the only one, believe me, that was wearing pajamas on the Zoom when no one could see. I was doing it too. I was. For all y'all know, I am right now. My point is, what does thriving look like for you right now, Tish?
So for me, it's I had to change my perspective. I mean, originally as a broker, my goal is always to hold on. It's got feedback.
Yeah, we got to get rid of one of those lines.
Is that better?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay,
Tish.
I'm so sorry about that.
I thought I was in a concert in an arena.
Yeah, so for starters, what I did was started giving concerts and working on my echoes. But but in the process, I mean, it's as an entrepreneur in my industry, it's approaching people with more of the informational aspect and just trying to assist people instead of focusing on what I need. Of course, I would love to make sales. We would all love to make money, right? But at the same time, in this economy, in this economy though, it becomes more beneficial to everyone if we can try to offer some value or add some value to their industry or just add some extra knowledge and help them get through this. So that's my strive to survive, is just helping others survive mostly.
Good deal.
Awesome. Awesome. I agree with you. One of the things that I've heard other entrepreneurs say, and then I've done as well, is in times like this, as we are emerging into the thriving aspect of things. And that's the reason that we chose this topic, is because as we begin to literally emerge from our homes and get into the thriving mode, we've done the work during the pandemic, and now we're ready to thrive. One of the things that has been said is, look, sometimes reach out to your clients or your prospects just because, this is one of those times, like, people are still freaking out in some places and in some cases. So if you're the person that is just a kind voice and still giving information that's valuable and not necessarily trying to make the next sale, guess what happens when they begin to thrive? They remember you and they refer business to you. But you made another very good point, Tish, about making sure that you're giving information, sharing information. And we know that that's important, isn't it right, Lisa? That it's good to give out information. I know, like you said, you had I set it up. I thought she was gonna see it coming, but she did. Lisa, please, if you wouldn't mind, unmute. I know that, speaking of information, that is one of the things that you and Jesse do, is you share knowledge, in fact, not just information, but knowledge to help folks to literally thrive in life and in business. So I know that you've done things on Zoom. You had a large convention that was planned a few weeks ago that pivoted into a virtual event. So if you wouldn't mind sharing some of the secrets to the millionaire on the room. Oops, I told the business again. I'm sorry. On how you all are thriving as we begin to emerge and move forward into the business world.
Well, it all started with 3 A's: your attitude, and you need to adapt, and you need to adjust. So whatever's going to come at you is going to happen. And the more you're challenged, you're going to be challenged no matter if COVID was going on. There's always going to be a challenge before us, because that's what life is about, right? So you just check your attitude, keep your attitude positive, adjust it if needed, and adapt where that's needed as well. So that keeps us healthy. If one of us is out of check, we just say, let's check with the AAAs, and wherever you're out of alignment, let's bring it back up to speed. And that has what's kept us centered through this.
That is huge. Thank you. I had to type that in the chat because I didn't have anything to take notes with. So I was unprepared. I know Jim said he came to learn, so I know he wrote that down. But attitude, adapt, and adjust. That is amazing. In fact, it's funny because my book of the week is, I have to read the title again, The 5 Major Pieces of the Life Puzzle by Jim Rohn. And it starts off with attitude or philosophy, to be specific. And so I guess I'm on the right path on thriving. So another piece of 2 cents that I'll put in is, it's definitely important as you continue to thrive, as you work into thriving during these new and exciting times. I used to say uncertain, but we're certain that it's new and it's certainly exciting. So in these new and exciting times, I have found that it's important to keep your head right, keep your mind right, and by reading, listening to the right information. And now, right, of course, is very relative for who you are and where you are in your personal life. But I think we can agree that not right would probably, things like, the Housewives, Maury, that wouldn't necessarily be that wouldn't be what I would call right at this time. No disrespect to entertainment television, but keeping that positive energy is definitely a part of that attitude. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And also, limit your exposure to the news, because it gets to be wah, 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 wah. And, that gets into your psyche. And then, a lot of people can't shake that. I mean, I was at the post office today, and there was a lady in line, and she did not like that I walked in to give Jessie these packages. She thought I cut the line and she gave me the bird. And I'm like, wow, really? So there's people out there that are handling this in very different ways. Everyone's carrying some baggage of some sort. So just be gentle and just be kind and limit your exposure to all the negativity and replace it with 5 positive thoughts. Go pick up 5 positive affirmations, you know, just to keep the positivity flowing and the negativity out.
I agree with you on that. It's not enough to keep the negativity out. It has been my experience that it is equally important, if not more important, to fill that space with positivity.
Yes.
So because just keeping the negativity out, now you have a void. And a void by definition is negative. It's negative space. So you've got to fill that. I do read sometimes. So you have to fill that with those positive, whether it's positive affirmations, whether it's positive reading, heck, even positive listening. I love music. One of my trades is as a DJ. And so I have been known to speak in song lyrics. And so it's important. Look, even my wife, every time my wife comes into my office, if I'm not on a Zoom, there's music playing. There's just always music playing. It's usually upbeat in some way, shape, or form, whether it's hip hop or classical. It's upbeat music always playing. That's just me though. That's how I think. But however your brain is wired, and we know Alicia is definitely wired, you definitely want to make sure. Thank you, Alicia. I appreciate that. That you are filling that void in your mind, because if you were stuck at home, like Tish was mentioning earlier, or Greg was mentioning earlier, you know, that's a void that you're missing of being able to go out into the world. We're creatures of interaction, and we've been confined to not being able to do that. So I encourage everyone that a part of thriving is definitely your attitude, which allows you to then thrive no matter what the situation is. I'm reminded of the shoe salesman. There was a shoe salesman, and he was in an African bush area, and he was having trouble selling shoes. And in his home office, he sent a letter to the home office. He says, "Look, man, I don't know, man. I can't sell any shoes. No one here wears shoes." And so corporate was like, "All right, we're going to move you to a different area." They sent another person out to that same area. First message he sent back to corporate: "Oh my goodness, this is great. We're going to do awesome. Nobody here wears shoes." Same scenario, but because his attitude had been adapted to the fact that no one wears shoes, able to adjust the way he did. I'm just going to steal all your stuff, Lisa. And he was able to have great success, like a Daphne Moore, who works in social media, who is behind the desk all the time. I don't think I've ever seen her not in front of a screen of some sort, whether it's a computer screen or a cell phone screen. Daphne, because you're here and because you're the social media maven, please share with us some ways that you are thriving as we continue to move forward. I know that you've been doing a lot for the Chamber and for your many clients in the social media space. If you can still hear me, please unmute yourself and share with us some of the ways that you have found yourself and some of your clients. You don't have to divulge any details, that they are thriving as we continue to progress through this new and exciting time. If you are there, Daphne. I'm just going to keep talking. Oh, there she unmuted. Okay.
Your question went in and out, but just to confirm, you was asking how am I thriving during this time?
Yes. You being the social media mogul that you are, helping yourself and many clients to keep their name out there in the social media space. I know that is probably, well, I don't know because I'm not in that space, but I would imagine that has taken a turn in some way over the last few months. And now as things are beginning to reopen, are you seeing folks thriving more as a result of staying in front of people in that vein?
Yes, I am. So when it first happened, I received a lot of calls because people was then realizing the importance of being active and present on social media. So they then wanted to learn more about it and how they can get their business out there, because they have been stalled or post once every month or something like that. So the conversation then changed. So I am now getting more calls about it still, because now that things are opening up, they're in that planning mode as if they're reopening or rebranding. So we are developing new campaigns, and they're realizing the importance of campaigns and ads as well. So that has increased as far as social media ads and educating them on that.
Awesome. So would you say that for the folks, and I'm sticking with the theme of survive to thrive. So for the folks that were surviving and staying in front of folks early on, and even in this time, is it your opinion, your professional opinion, that those folks are thriving more as we begin to reopen?
Yes, because they was already consistent on social media, and now they had the time to actually dive in and give it more attention. They was able to thrive and have more fun with it, because now it's more people hands-on versus one person being involved in that. They had more people to chime in.
But for someone, I'm just going to use me as an example because why not? That didn't do any of that during that time. Is it too late? Have I missed the boat? Have I missed my opportunity? Is the window closed?
It's never too late. Because you wasn't active before. With social media, it's a pay to play platform. So someone that wasn't as active, you will have to pay more to get exposure versus someone who's already been out there and been seen, but you will have to pay more just to be out there and be consistent and to have your ads or your message above someone that's already been doing it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But so as far as thriving is concerned, it's not too late to thrive, even if you didn't do everything that was necessary to survive leading into now. Is that an accurate statement?
Correct. It's never too late, because even the ones that were doing it before, they may had to pivot as far as their messaging. So they had to redo it anyway, but they already knew how to do it. That's just the difference.
Awesome. And I like what you said as far as pivoting the messaging, because I was talking to my good friend Alicia the other day. I call her Marsha because, well, she lets me. And we were discussing very briefly the fact that many of the people that she works with in bonding are noticing that even though some things haven't changed yet, they are seeing that things may begin to change in the coming months. And so it is necessary to make that pivot even now. Even though we are coming out of one phase, another one's coming. And so being able to pivot and continue to pivot is very vital. Would you like to elaborate on that, since I just took what you said and put some stuff on it? Please share more if you don't mind, dear friend Alicia.
You know, I got to come up with a name for you. Oh, one that I
can say in public.
Yeah.
You can't share the one that's in your head right now. This is a family show.
Yeah, no, we had I was sharing some information of what I've been getting, again, you know, with working with contractors and licensed in all 50 states. I have clients all over, and a lot, my book is federal contractors do work with the federal government to the regular private sector in the construction industry. And I've been hearing more on the private sector is that because of the issue with China shutting down and the majority of our products coming from China, that we're going to have that impact of the domino effect. It's talking probably in August is when we're going to start feeling the lack of goods that we're going to be able to obtain, as well as a skyrocketing increase on materials, which then would it would also impact the funding of these projects, possibly the ones that have just been signed. There might make delays on these projects. So that's a prediction. I hope it's not as bad as what I've been hearing, but you know, we got to gear up for it, and that's kind of what I'm more concentrating and flooding the market on the federal side, because the government is spending. So it's really on the private.
Give them my number, since they spending, they can. No.
Well, and they've also, they're already into the funding that is out there right now is from their last year term. So they're spending that money because it's already been allocated for construction for this year. What's going to happen is when the September 30th comes rolling around, September 1st is going to be I'm going to be real closely looking at federal projects and what has been out there for budgeting for the 2021 term. So we'll see what impact it does with the government at that time. But I'm foreseeing August, September is going to be, it's going to be tough for construction industry in a whole.
Now, by no means am I a business consultant extraordinaire. I'm just an entrepreneur who's been fired from every job I ever had. And no, that's a real thing. I don't know why y'all laughing at me. But what I've learned in that time is you can kind of track the economy by how many cranes are in the sky, how many cranes are in the air. The cranes meaning those big tall things for the commercial construction or even residential construction. How much of that is happening sometimes is a barometer or thermometer of how the economy is going. Would you agree, Alicia, that I go completely off track?
No, actually, you're right. Who I really stay close and tuned with is more of your engineers, architects. They're going to know because they're doing the plan designing on the project. So they're going to know if they start getting, a lag or a delay on certain items, they're going to be the first ones to know. Because again, they're the first in as far as the design is concerned.
Awesome. So that being said, when we're talking about thriving or surviving to thrive, it's important to recognize, and thank you, Alicia, I really appreciate that. It's important. What I'm pulling from that and what I'm going to share, and please feel free to jump in and say, no, you're wrong, or I agree, is that as we are continuing to pivot, there's going to be more pivots to happen. So surviving to thrive is not a one-time event or phenomenon. It is something that we are consistently or constantly, continuing to do the things that are necessary to survive so that we can continue to thrive. Does that make sense? Am I pulling this together all right? Or am I completely all the way off track? Anyone? Bueller? Julie, what do you think? Julie thinks I don't want to talk. I was Toastmaster today. I've talked enough. What is wrong with you putting me on the spot? Well, look, what have I got to lose, right?
Hey, Darren.
What's the question again? All right, go ahead. I
just wanted to know your 2 cents. But you know what? You have a slight reprieve because Jim Davis is going to jump in. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Darren, I agree with everything you've said and appreciate Lisa and Daphne's words. Campaigning has changed 100%. Right now, I'd be bouncing from event to event, eating rubber chicken and shaking a lot of hands. And we're not doing that anymore.
Not kissing babies.
Instead, this is Zoom number 4 today. I have 2 more tonight. But at least I get to do it from the comfort of my home. Mm-hmm. It does save on gas mileage. And Daphne's comments about the social media, 90% of campaigning is all going to be social media, whether it's Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube commercials. And from an attorney that doesn't know anything about any of that stuff, I do good work in the courtroom, but now I have to and I'm a sole practitioner also, so I've done some of that, but it has to get kicked into high gear. And so talk about adapting and adjusting. So it's going to be quite the journey for the next 137 days.
Thank you for that input, Jim. Because again, survive to thrive affects all of us, literally no matter what we're doing. So everything from if you're running a business, working a job, or running a campaign, it is necessary to understand what strategies you need to have in place, what information you need to have in place so that you can continue to continue to survive so that you can thrive. And so I'm going to pass it over to one of the best extemporaneous speakers that I know, because if you give her a topic, a problem, or a situation, she has enough life experience to where she can just jump right in. And she's giving me a face because she knows it's true. So she's just excited right now because I know that she has something to share in regard to everything that we've talked about. I told you only had a small reprieve. It is now time for Ms. Julie Kankai. Please share your thoughts on surviving to thrive.
Okay.
I'm going to get it later.
Man, you are. So my take on it is as a person that grew up on the island, like we had to be prepared for tornadoes and hurricanes and things like that. So because of those different experience I had with that, I have instilled in me that you always have to stay prepared. And you can't necessarily stay comfortable in your comfort zone because you never know what's going to happen. So you have to do your best to adjust accordingly so it doesn't necessarily hurt you where you can't do anything at all. So one of the things that this pandemic and everything that's going on is just making sure that I'm there for my friends and my family that doesn't have the how can I say, I don't want to say backbone because that's incorrect, but doesn't have that posture to deal with what's going on. So just be that ear, and it couldn't be the shoulder because couldn't leave the house, but just be that ear and just but just be there for them and do my best to understand where they're coming from and just taking it from there. So that's my contribution, that's my viewpoint, and I'm just making sure that we're just going to be prepared for the next one. And we don't know what the next one is going to be, but knock on wood, we're going to be more prepared for it than we were this time.
So growing up on an island, which hashtag jealous, I'm just saying, you live by the beach. That's what I see when someone's like, grew up on an island. I'm like, you just got the beach all the time? Yes. It sounds to me like it's a mindset, a consistent mindset of being prepared. Would that be, is that an accurate statement?
Yes, it is.
So it's kind of like your mindset, kind of like Lisa was saying, is your attitude. So it's still there's 3 inches between your, no, 6, how many inches between your ears? Math was not my subject. I apologize. And that's geometry. Anyway, so having that attitude, is it 8? I didn't look up to see your fingers in time. Thank you, Lisa, covering me. I appreciate that. I will not soon forget. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just serious. So being able to survive to thrive, because that is what we've been talking about. I really want to take a moment and thank all of you for your input and your contribution to this conversation on surviving to thrive. And I want to thank everyone who put their information in the chat. If you haven't done so, even if you have, go ahead and do it again.
Want to say something?
Who's trying to say something?
Tish.
Tish is trying to say, Tish, what?
I just wanted, well, Miss Julie was talking and she kind of made me think of something that I think might assist others.
Please share.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with these phone companies, but T-Mobile, Verizon, Nextel. Remember Nextel?
Yeah, with fond memories. Where you at?
So I think the key difference in them all, though, is T-Mobile, Verizon, they found ways to evolve with the changing economy. Just like humans do, we evolve. So if your business isn't constantly evolving and adapting to the change, because the world's always going to change. So you can either be like the T-Mobile or the Verizon, or you can be Nextel and just be a memory.
Bam, there it is. And Sprint bought them for pennies on the dollar.
For pennies.
Pardon me. Ruth put a whole monologue in the text, and I was going to ask her to add, but she did. And I'm going to believe, unless you like, if you're unmuted, so if you like to share verbally, please feel free.
Lisa is a good friend of mine, and I spoke to her the other day. I was a little frustrated because my husband is high risk. I had a business trip / girl trip planned. I ended up canceling it. So I just, bottom line, I just feel that flexibility and patience is super important right now. And I think we all, to Julie's point, we have to be an ear, and everyone is handling business and life differently. And I just try, my husband is handling it differently than I am, my clients and friends. So I just think none of us, there's so much uncertainty. We just have to be super flexible and super kind. So I keep telling myself that.
And you're 100% correct. I mean, you and Tish are echoing one another in my mind, because it's that flexibility that allows you to stay in business. I mean, folks, you probably know this already, but how many companies went out of big major corporations, not just the mom and pops, that have literally gone out of business in the last 4 months because they were inflexible, because they did not adapt, because they did not adjust and grow. They were the next Nextel. Even Sprint got bought by T-Mobile. But my point is, I agree with what you're saying, first off, and thank you for sharing, because it is definitely, and I like what you wrote. You cannot get blocked a bit by your limitations. That's the attitude adjuster for you right there. I love that. Thank you. I'm saving the chat just so I can put that in there. Another book that I just read was Who Moved My Cheese? And I've read it for the second time. And one of the things that I've been meditating on recently is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? How much could you accomplish if you were not afraid? Just want to throw that out there. And
that's a good book, Darren.
What's that?
That's a good book.
It's a great book. It's a great book. I read it when I still had a bunch of cheese, and then someone moved my cheese, and I forgot everything I read in that book. And then I read it just now, and I'm like, dang, I should have read this book again 2 years ago. Anyway, why you stop it? You don't gotta, hey, green dress, look now, look. Anyway, so yes, Greg, you're right. It's a great book. I highly recommend it to everybody. So because your cheese is gonna get moved, and another reason that I brought that up is because this pandemic has moved everyone's cheese. That's just the reality of. I mean, even from, as Jim mentioned, the way we campaign, he can't kiss babies anymore because that cheese got moved, right? Tish can't leave her house for a while. She was in her pajamas and Greg was taking naps because the cheese got moved. And I'm not saying anything they didn't already say. This is no shade, because many of us are working from, even Ruth mentioned, even in her own home. People are handling things differently because the cheese got moved. And that's why this book was so amazing, is because and I won't tell you the story, there are 4 characters and each one of them handled change differently, and some more effectively than others. And I encourage you to read the book. There are some places online where you can get it for free. No disrespect to the author and his commissions and his residual. I'm just saying, it's out there for free now if you just look a little bit. If you want to get up and be like, just get back in the maze, you can find the book. And now if you read the book, that reference will make sense. I see Samala smiling. I think she's read the book recently. So 4 times. I understand completely. So what would you do if you were not afraid, if you did not have fear? Folks, this has been wonderful and exciting. We've been here for about an hour. I know our Direct Connect is normally a 2-hour event. Virtual Connect has a little bit more fluidity to it, depending on the conversation. And I would like to thank everyone again for the conversation. I hope that it has been beneficial to everyone. I hope Jim, as he said earlier, learned something. And I hope all of us did as well, to be very, very clear and fair. I want to thank everyone for their time and their contribution on talking about surviving to thrive, because that is what all of us, I believe, desire out of our business, and most importantly, out of our life. So is there anyone that would like to throw a closing word or an extra add in, or I just thought of, because I don't want to just shut it off and say good night. Actually, I do, but I'm not going to. Anyone have any other thoughts that have come to them that they feel comfortable or compelled to share with the rest of us?
I got a short burning desire. No. Well, one of the comments I was going to make, but it was a long time ago, and we were talking about not watching the news, because the news doesn't change. It's COVID-19. Hello, coronavirus 2020. Hello, it's not going to change. And a really good friend of mine calls CNN constantly negative news. So find something else to do. Instead of sitting in front of your TV set. Instead of sitting in front of your TV set and checking out what's going on in your neighbor's in your neighborhood or down the street, or who else is in, or who else has died, or whoever other disease has come along, get up and go outside. Go for a walk. Find a dog. Walk the dog. Go out in your backyard.
Find a dog? Just don't find it in your neighbor's yard. They might not appreciate that.
Maybe you need to walk your neighbor's dog because they can't get out and they can't walk their dog. Okay.
They have a new dog walking business.
That's right. You can start a business just like that. The
There you
other thing
go.
is, appreciate the things that are around you that you still have, that you still have control of, that you still have in your wheelhouse. Okay. Cook. Hello. Bake. There's lots of good things going on. Lots of things that you can do like that. And it's important to stay connected. And that's the whole thing that I think that's really powerful about Zoom, is that even if you don't know how to use Zoom, you get to learn how to use Zoom because somebody you know is going to Zoom you and say, click on your camera, click on your microphone. Come on, I'll show you how to do this. And that's really important right now. It's really important. Right now, they say that loneliness, which is what's happening in the world right now, that loneliness, especially in the elder community, is like, for them, it's like smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's how detrimental it is to their health at this time. So it's really important for us to stay connected, to reach out, to call somebody, call your friend, call your neighbor, call your grandchild, whoever, and just make sure you keep that connection because we're all in this together.
Man, if I had a mic, I'd let you drop it. There it is. That's right, Lisa. That's it. Boom. So, folks, thank you again for joining us this evening. Tish, thank you. You beat me to it. You put your info in again. I thank you for that. If you have not done so, please put your information in the chat so that as needed, folks can save the chat if you depending on what device you're on.